Folks at home, welcome back to the backyard bass pond, and it's been a little while since we've done one of these bass pond videos. But before we get into today's main topic, let's just go ahead and take an underwater up close look at all of our pets. So I'm happy to say that all of our pets are doing good. The two new bluegills that we caught in our last micro fishing for a new pet have survived and adapted well to this pond. We're going to be naming these two later on in the video, but overall all the fish seem happy and healthy. Outlaw the crappie's hanging out a lot more. Seems like he's finally warming up to all the fish, and we've been feeding the two new bluegills pellet food. It's pretty cool to watch them. We'll show a feeding clip of them later on in the video. They like to do that top water surface action blow up. And here's a look at our pet turtle Ranger. I'm really starting to like him. He's a cool turtle. He loves it this time of year. He's either up on a log or a rock sunning, or either he's down in the water chasing the shiners around. But the name Ranger is definitely fitting because he roams all over the place. And later in the video, we're going to be giving you an update on the 5 baby Ninja Turtles, as well as feeding Mr. Moby. Alright guys, as you all know, it's that time of year whenever that water temp hits around 70 to 72 degrees, those largemouth head for the shallowest water they can find to spawn. And basically the female lays the eggs, the male comes along and fertilizes them, and before you know it, you'll have little bass fry everywhere. So we caught these two pet bass 3.5 years ago, and when we put them in a 300-gallon tank, I thought we were going to get Bonnie to spawn. Her and Clyde actually built a nest, but we were unsuccessful with getting any fry. So last year, after we built the pond, I was really hopeful that we could make it happen. One of the worst case scenarios, we think Bonnie laid her eggs right in front of the skimmer, so we were unsuccessful again. So I've done a lot of research on what I think we need to do, and since we have such a hard bottom, like there's nothing but rocks in the bottom of the pond, bass do like to spawn on hard bottoms, but not necessarily rocks. They like to fan out of bed. But I've done a lot of research on how hatcheries get their fish to reproduce, and one of the main things a lot of them use is called a spawning mat. I've seen the Texas Wildlife Share Lunker program use it, and man, they get some big old 13, 14 pound bass to spawn on this mat. And so I'm going to have to pick some up. So I'm pretty sure that Bonnie spawned last year, but I'm almost positive that she spawned up here by the skimmer, which is the worst possible spot for her to spawn, because obviously the eggs are just going to get taken into that, and they may or may not get sent right back down the waterfall. But that's why this year I went out and got some SpawnTex spawning mats, and it's made out of coconut fibers, and it has a latex binder in there, so it allows those eggs to get down in there and hide. And you can even pull the mat out and isolate the eggs after they're fertilized, which will help them have a lot higher survival ratio. I'm not quite sure if we're going to do that yet, but let's go ahead and talk about where we're going to put this spawning mat. I think the best possible spot, you want it to be about 18 to 24 inches. And the shallowest part of our pond's right up there, but I think I'm going to put it right here in front of this camera, so you guys could also check out our other channel, BamaBass Pond, where we have the live stream. But I think right down there, it's going to be about 2 feet deep. We'll put it right in front of that camera, so if they do spawn, you guys will be able to watch it in the live stream. So this is the size of the mat I'm going to start off trying out. It's about a 18-inch by 2-foot mat. And you can see Bonnie's even hanging out down there in that spot I'm going to put it. So I'm going to sink it right there, just put a couple rocks on the edge. Alright, we got it down there in place. I put a few rocks around the outside edge of it. I don't really like that, so I think I'll probably pull it back out and use fishing line and tie the rocks on the bottom of it. Oh wow guys, literally seconds after I stepped out of the water, both of the bass went over there to check it out. So if any of you are biologists, let us know what attracts bass to these spawning mats in particular. Is it the safety of the eggs or the texture of the mat? I don't know, leave a comment down below if you know. But man, I'm pretty excited. I think it's actually going to happen this year, and if you're wondering why I get so excited about this, so we're hoping to build a lake later this year, a big lake, and how cool would it be for the initial bass that went into that lake to be fry from Bonnie and Clyde? That to me would be unbelievably cool. But we all know we really need Moby's genetics in there. Alright, if you're new to the channel, this is our 300-gallon aquarium, and this is our pet bass Moby, and pretty much everybody just likes how aggressive Moby is, so we're just going to go ahead and roll the feeding clips. of Sarah's favorite things to do every day is come out and feed the bluegills, because she can throw this pellet food out and it'll get them to come right up to her. And especially those 2 new bluegills we caught and just put in the pond. I think they really like this pellet food because they're not really used to eating shiners just yet. But some days it's pretty cool because the shiners will actually come up and eat the pellet food, and then the bass will come up and blow them up. And we'll get that hot topwater action. Alright, fish feeding time. We just got our delivery of 1,000 golden shiners. Shout out to Anderson Fish Farm. And folks, we have to get 1,000 of these every 2 weeks. Moby and the rest of the gang's appetite is starting to get pretty costly. So we usually acclimate them in our 100-gallon bait well. Let's see if we can see some of the crawfish down there on the bottom. There's one of them right there. But the trick to acclimating these guys is whenever they ship them, they pump pure oxygen down in the bag. So you want to put them in here for about 15 to 20 minutes. But the trick is not to open the bag up. That way it'll keep all that dissolved oxygen. But it's time to let the big dogs eat. Alright, it is time to name the 2 newest additions to our pond, the 2 pet bluegills that Liz and I caught last month. We were out micro fishing for a pet crappie, and of course we caught 2 bluegills. But you all left over 1,000 comments on what we should name these 2 bluegills, and I got a lot of comments saying Jekyll and Hyde, and I didn't really understand what was going on until this guy said, what about naming them Jekyll and Hyde because it rhymes with Bonnie and Clyde? So Jim No Tropic, you are the winner. We're going to name these 2 pet bluegills Jekyll and Hyde, and it's a perfect name because one of them is a really dark color and the other one is a really bright sunfish color. So I think that name Jekyll and Hyde fits perfectly. So send me your address, Jim, and I'll send you out a prize package. Alright, next up we're going to do a feeding clip of our 5 baby Ninja Turtles. And they're not so small anymore. They're getting a little bit on the big side. We've been feeding them shrimp pellets and this other protein pellet every night, and I think Liz gets a little aggressive with the feeding. They're starting to get a little bit big, but you all know we've been planning on building a turtle pond in the backyard, and unfortunately we were talking with Aquascape about building it. So with the travel restrictions, they can't fly in, so unfortunately it's going to get pushed back just a little bit, but these turtles will be making it out of this small tank here in the very near future. We got them. And here's the Catfish Shadow. He's right on cue. He usually only comes out in really low light situations and at night. But look at how big he's got. And I'm telling you, I think that this one fish eats as much as all the other fish combined in one day. And that makes it really expensive to feed these fish. And that also brings up another topic. I see a lot of comments asking about different costs associated with these fish. How much the 300-gallon tank cost, how much the pond cost to build, how much do I have to feed these fish every week to 2 weeks. So if you guys would like to see me do a full video on just the cost breakdown of having ponds and aquariums and feeding these fish and what it takes and the upkeep, just leave a comment down below, let me know, and if there's enough interest, I'll film it for you guys. So we've had this pond for 1.5 years now, and I never knew where the catfish slept until just now, and that's in between those 2 rocks. So nobody loves it more than Ranger whenever we put a bunch of golden shiners in the pond, because he absolutely goes full buffet mode and feast on them. He's mowing them down. That's his little sneak attack, where he tucks his head in the shell. He pops it out and grabs one. Alright folks, that's going to wrap up this video. Be sure you're subscribed, that way you can follow along with the spawning process. It looks like they're already over here checking it out right now. And also do me a favor, leave a comment down below on things you'd like to see us film with this backyard pond in the future. Hope you all stay safe out there, and I'll see you all next time.
Were pretty looking people, but I can tell you people, they were the devil's children.